Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Hi, my name is Filipina, and today we have a plan with me in my Hobonichi Weeks MAAYA SAKAMOTO collaboration weeks for 2022. Hobonichi Day had just passed. It was on the 1st of September, and I hope that you had a good time choosing the weeks that you wanted and actually being able to order them. I know it was quite difficult to do that because the website had crashed for the first few minutes and then things just rapidly sold out. I can't wait to show you though all of the things that I got as soon as I get them. Here I'm just showing you the materials that we'll be using for today. This one is the Jinhao fountain pen that I got off of AliExpress, I believe, and I've had this for quite some time but I've never used it. It comes with a converter when you buy it, which is great because I prefer converters to cartridges. This writes fairly well and is quite inexpensive, but I'm not sure that this will last for a very long time compared with the other fountain pens that I have. And this is today's ruler. It's just the backing of the sticky notes that I got from Stationery Pal. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and of course don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more planning videos. So now let's go ahead and begin our plan with me. First, I'm going to be lining the pages using this STAEDTLER TRIPLUS fine liner. This is very old and I do not own this shade. It looks black, but it's more of a very dark green. And as you can see here, it's not laying down very well because it is quite old, but you can still use it, no problem. You just need to be more careful with it. So if you have old Triplus fine liners, then this is how it's going to behave. So I'm very sorry that the lines aren't as crisp as I usually make them. And I really don't mind that they're not very clean. But if you can make it cleaner for this particular spread, then it will be better. So here I'm just darkening the lines that are already on the planner, the horizontal lines, and then using the dots that are on this page, I'm going to divide it into two columns, a bigger column and a smaller column. Potentially you can divide the left page into 3 different columns, and you can check out my Instagram 𝒕𝒉𝒊𝒔 to see how I do that in some of my spreads, but I don't do that very often. Here I'm extending the daily sections onto the right page up until that dark vertical line on the right page, and I do this quite often because I feel like I want to have a dailies on the grid paper, because on the left side it's just blank but the right side has grid, so I prefer to have a little bit of that grid for my daily sections. Here I'm just aligning once again. I'm making horizontal lines, 2 grids after the line that's already there, and this is just going to be separate from, or has a little bit more focus than the rest of that box. And later I'll show you how I use that, or how I decorate it and why I do it. And then I decided to go ahead and deepen that line on the right page so that it's very clear that there is a division between this part of the right page to the bigger column of the right page. So the left page and the extension is done. Now we're going to move on, of course, to the right page. So here I'm just going to treat this as one big column, and I'm going to line the top. I'm not going to extend it very across the entire thing, so I'm just dotting where I want the line to start and to end. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the bottom of that page. Now I am aligning it with the line between Saturday and Sunday, so that is just a little bit cleaner. And then I'm going to make a slightly larger area than the one at the bottom, and now that makes 3 rows in that large column. And this is what we have so far. You can already stop here for a more minimal look, and these next steps are just extra decorations. It has a little bit of function, so you can choose to do it just so you'll have, or it'll look very different between the different weeks, which is what I try to do. So these next few things aren't very clean. I'm not going to be using a lot of my ruler, but maybe just a little bit. I am trying to make more rounded edge here. I'm not doing it very well. It was very difficult at that moment in time because this is a new filming setup and I couldn't see what I was doing most of the time, so I'm gonna have to work on that. So here I'm doing the exact same thing on the right column, on the main column of the right page. So that's 2 grid boxes down, and then line, and then the side that's a little bit rounded rather than a straight up box. I didn't want to put boxes on here because I wanted to retain a little bit of softness to this page, so a little bit of romance maybe. And then I'm doing that for the very last line as well. So it's looking pretty good, and I'm glad that I didn't make it into very strict boxes. And here I'm going to do the exact same thing for this entry. So I've already written something down because this is a very important event. I thought I'd just go ahead and write it down and incorporate it later on when I set up the page, and I'm trying to be better with that. I want to continue doing that instead of just writing it somewhere down on the weekly pages and then just writing it down later, just in case I forget what that was, that there's something very important, so I wanted to write it down immediately. So you can also try doing it vertically, like what I'm doing here for Thursday. And then here I'm making more of a squarish box than a long rectangular box like I did for Wednesday. So this is just going to make sure that your eye goes to these spaces, and so important information can be written on there so that at a glance you will know where to look or what to read. And this is what we have so far. So as you can see, it's really coming along very nicely. It's not as boxy as some of my other spreads. And here I'm going to go ahead and use the fountain pen, and the ink that we will be using for today is the J.HERBIN VERT ATLANTIDE. I'm sorry, I don't know how to really pronounce the name of this ink. This is a special edition ink. This isn't actually mine. I gifted this, so my husband and I gifted this to his sister because she also liked fountain pens, and I saw it and I've always wanted to try it, so she lent me a few drops to put into my fountain pen. So this is hers, and I'm very glad that I'm able to try it because this is stunning. J.HERBIN makes some of the best inks that's easily acquired. I mean, you can buy it in a lot of different places, so I hope that you're able to get this one because it's really good. So this ink is green, as obviously, but it's a very deep green with a lot of sparkles. Now unfortunately you won't be able to see the sparkles here right now, and it actually develops, so the sparkles develop more as the ink dries. So right now all of the ink that you're seeing is wet, so it's gonna dry, you know, in a few seconds, but that's why the ink, or rather the sparkles, aren't showing up as well. And the sparkles are so fine, it's so small that I prefer sparkles that are smaller than they are bigger. So the glitter effect is really pretty. It's beautiful. It's beautiful without being too glamorous, if I would say that. So it's very understated glamour. So here I'm just writing down payday because that is a very good day for all of us. And then I'm going to be filming on Saturday. So Saturdays is the time that I want to film. And then I have an extra rest day on Thursday. So my work days are usually Sundays through Wednesday, and then Friday, and then Sunday again. So the concept is clean lines with uniform by making uniform thickness lines. So nothing is too thick, nothing is not thick enough. So that was why I was trying to line over and over earlier in the video, so that the thickness will be the same for all of them. So for here in this column, that was for my progress of the project that I'm doing. And then here we have my littles, and then in the smaller boxes I wanted to put something important that I wanted to write down on the morning of that day. And then for the this week section, this is my to-do list, and it's just bullet points, so it's just like a bullet journal. That's how I like to do my to-do lists. And also it's a brain dump, so it's not just a to-do list, it's in fact a brain dump. It's either a to-do, an information, and things like that, and it's easily convertible to an ATLANTIDE method, but just one box for it. And if it doesn't happen on that day, then I'll just cross that out and write a new letter on the spaces, either on the left or on the right side of that letter. So here I'm making my tracker. It's because I noticed that I didn't use that whole entire section for my brain dump. I'm still trying to get back into brain dumping that much at the beginning of the week. It's better if I just brain dump when I want to, when I'm feeling it. Otherwise, it's very difficult for me to brain dump, especially when I'm filming. But I do write a lot in my to-do lists. And here I decided to write down my posting day, which is the day after, but this video will be a one-day edit. So I filmed in the morning and I'm going to be posting it tonight because I am very excited. And now we are all done, and it's time for page anatomy. So for the left page, we already know that it's the schedule, and then on the other column, that is the progress of what I'm doing. And then on the right page, we have the dailies extension, the to-do list, the trackers, and next week. So this is the page we have, and I'm going to give you a close-up right now so you can see the ink a little bit better. So now it's a lot greener than what it was earlier. So it does develop very slowly. It dries fairly quickly for what it is, but it's just that when it develops very slowly, and I bet tomorrow this will look completely different. I also stuck on one of those sticky notes because it was just there and I might as well, and it looks pretty good. And I'm glad that I'm able to remove it once that week is done and I wanted to use another color. So that's it for us today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!